This episode of The Young Turks is brought to you by Gamefly. Go to gamefly.com/TYT for a free trial membership.
Little interesting news out of Egypt. Everybody in the morning gets news reports saying we believe that Hosni Mubarak, the president, is going to step down. And once again, we make the mistake of getting excited in the morning. I'm tweeting it out. It looks like Mubarak's going down. That's what everyone is reporting, right? And there's talks of a transition to his vice president, Omar Suleiman. And I remember thinking in the morning, and in fact, we had a meeting over it, and I said, look, it's fantastic news that Mubarak would be stepping down. Obviously, Suleiman, not much better. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. But, hey, look, that was the number one goal. You take your victories, and you got to be ecstatic about it because no one thought this was possible. Well, it turns out it wasn't quite possible yet. I believe, but it didn't happen today. Mubarak came out and gave a speech, and we're all listening, waiting for him to say, and I stepped down, and he never said it. He came out and he said, I'm the president, I'm protecting the Egyptian people, and he said, the people who committed the violence against the protesters, how dare they? I'm going to find them and punish them. Oh, dude, who are you kidding? The minute he said that, I was like, oh, come. You know who ordered that? You did. I mean, what a joke this guy is. You think the Egyptian people don't know that you ordered the protesters to be beat and shot and killed? There's over 300 killed so far. What, like there was just some random mysterious force inside the Mubarak government was like, on behalf of Mubarak, I will now go ahead and try to maul these protesters. But totally my decision. I didn't clear it with Mubarak. Yeah, that'd be a great thing to do. When you've had a dictator who's been in charge for nearly 30 years, don't clear those decisions with him. Of course Mubarak ordered it. So he goes on with that disingenuous nonsense, but you think he's going to step aside anyway? Nope. Comes out and says, I'm still the president. I will remain until September, until there are the elections, and then we will transition out. But am I not merciful? I will allow my vice president to rule in the transition, kind of. So, but wait a minute. If you're not stepping aside, you could still make the decisions. In fact, the vice president right now cannot offer amendments, constitutional amendments, which Mubarak talked about later. And there is a whole series of powers that the president completely and utterly retains. So Mubarak definitively not stepping aside. He's just sharing a tiny bit of the power with his right-hand man who led to torture throughout his regime, the head of intelligence services. Ooh, that's some real power sharing there. Basically, the same exact situation he had before. And then Mubarak says, well, I will also allow 5 constitutional amendments that a committee will study and then later come back to us and recommend whether we should or we shouldn't, and I might or might not accept it at that time. Yeah. So everybody's expecting Mubarak to step down. They jammed hundreds of thousands into Tahrir Square. They listen to this in what the reporters described as shocked silence. And that's how it was here. I'm watching it. I'm going, what? What the hell is he saying? And the reporter said for the Associated Press that people literally started slapping their foreheads like, what? And so then they took off their shoes and started waving at him. And as soon as he was done with the speech, a thunderous chant began. Leave, leave, leave. I heard there was a couple of gits in there, and protesters have definitely been trying to rough talk him and run him off. Some went to the palace. In terms of the protests and the size today, unbelievable. Doctors joined in their white coats. Lawyers joined in their robes. Lawyers marched to the government buildings, pushed past the police. The middle classes totally joined this protest, and that is critical. Even more critical, the workers have joined. Now, you know, it's a thing called, I believe, Workers of the World Unite, right? But they almost never do. And it's because they got to earn a living and they care about their family, and it's so hard as it is. And there's a whole great host of reasons why it's really hard to get workers to go on strike or work towards removing the government. I mean, this government's been around for 29 years as an example in Egypt. But you know what? Workers throughout the country, they instituted a strike. And as I said to you a couple of days ago, the key is money. And if you take the ruling class, the rich business people, the people in the military, people in the government, and you hurt their pocketbook, then you can get action. And we did. That's what motivated the Army to say in the beginning of today, we have seized control. And everybody thought, well, is it a coup? Is Mubarak out? But now we're stuck in this netherworld. We don't even know. Is the Army in charge? Are they not in charge? Is Mubarak still held on to power? And look, in between the Army announcements saying they were taking control and Mubarak giving his speech, in the real world, you don't think there was some serious haggling? Like, this is the stuff that isn't reported. But here's what Mubarak did, is my educated guess. General X, what would you like? General Y, what would you like? Remember, Mubarak is reported to have $40 to $70 billion that he stole from the Egyptian people, right? General, where would you like your villa to be? Colonel, what kind of jet would you like? Et cetera, et cetera. And was he able to successfully bribe them, strike the right deals? Well, we simply don't know yet, because the protesters are now in an even bigger rage. And tomorrow's Friday, the most critical day in the Muslim week. And that is when they have the noon prayers, and that is when so many more protesters will show up. But here's the most important lesson I got out of this, and why we need to thank the Egyptian people for this. Look, at some point in these protests, I started to grow worried and skeptical and maybe even a little cynical, and thought, how are they going to do it with nonviolence? I love nonviolence. That's what I believed my whole life. Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, these are all my heroes, right? But you're doing the nonviolence, but the guys with the guns won't budge. What are you going to do? Well, they showed us the way. They said, as I just explained to you, hey, there are other ways to do this. One of the ways that you do it is you affect people's money. And I get, other than their lives, and sometimes even more than their lives, that's what they care the most about. When you touch their money, you've touched the bone, okay? And the Egyptian people showed that over the course of this week, and showed that that actually can lead to change. Now, it's not over yet. We're in the middle of it. But it was both extraordinarily courageous and extraordinarily smart. And I believe, and I'm not afraid to take sides. You got a lot of people in the media who are like, well, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Well, the protesters look like they're democratic, but on the other hand, that dictator is such a good friend of ours. I am not in that camp. I'm on the side of the Egyptian people and the democratic protesters. You know why? Because I'm an American, and I believe in America. I believe in the concept. I believe in democracy, and that idea is more important than anything else, and certainly allegiance to a dictator.
Cenk, people don't know this about me, but I'm an underground gamer. I love to play video games.
Well, then you're going to love our new sponsor, GameFly. They're the largest online video game rental service in the world. 7,000 titles, new and classic. Also, no late fees, no due dates. Shipping's always free.
Go to gamefly.com/TYT for a free trial membership.